So a few months ago, I made an Nsbm list. Like I made it onto an Nsbm list, which at the time was very surprising because I am not an Nsbm artist. So the story very quickly was I got tagged in a post and I didn't know what the post was. And originally it was a meme that I put out. And when I went to see what I was tagged in, excuse me, I was tagged into an Nsbm watch list. And what this essentially is a bunch of sissy men that go around and warn each other so they don't cut themselves on sharp corners of words and images that may, break their little fucking fragile heart. And so I made that list. Now, first, it was very shocking to me because, I had just released a demo and just had put out a CD, and every single song was like an anti-Christian song. So it was kind of surprising. So at first I took it as a bit of a joke and kind of went in there and kind of hammed it up a little bit. And then when I found out that these guys were serious, they started threatening to get into groups of, more men in tight t-shirts and rock up to my front door and, do physical harm. So I had to think about it. And what was funny was as I was getting all these, threats of physical violence, I was also getting a lot of messages and a lot of attention. And negative attention in black metal is always you can't buy that type of ads. So I kind of looked at it and went, well, the chances of someone showing up here and looking for me is probably slim to none, and anyone that normally threatens violence is probably the last person that's actually going to do it. So I doubled down on it, and I didn't deny it. Don't confirm, don't deny it. That's normally how I take life, right? So it was like overnight, and the next few days, all of my social medias, CD sales, everything just shot up. It was the best exposure I could have gotten. And what was funny about that was a lot of them were coming from the Nsbm site. So at first I thought, well, these are people that are just wanting to go through all my stuff and, find the boogeyman. But then I found, after getting messages from people that had been put on that list and people that were on that list, a lot of them are there to find out about new Nsbm artists. So to be perfectly clear, I am not an Nsbm artist. You can go through all of my stuff, you can have a look at it. It's all about mostly wars that my country's been involved in, stuff from ancient times and, death and Satan, all right? So I found that I got a little bit of momentum, a bit of popularity, and it was interesting because I guess the idea of this list is to kind of shut these bands down. And anyway, that didn't happen. It was the exact opposite, which kind of brings me to where I am kind of with this video, is that I don't dislike Nsbm. It doesn't really worry me, but if you kind of harken back to the old days before Nsbm was such a huge type of venture as it is today, it was very hard to find them, and if you did find them, it really wasn't that good. Like, Absurd really wasn't fucking great. Like, I heard it, I didn't think there was anything great about it. The quality wasn't there. But I guess with, all things and the way that the culture and the social, political climate of today has kind of gone, it's been pushed in such a direction that it's starting to, or it has pushed back in the other direction. Hence, you're getting a lot of these bands that are kind of coming out with National Socialist inspired music. And now it's good because there's a lot more people doing it. So I guess the gene pool's bigger and you're getting a better cross section. But I guess the point is that it didn't hurt it. Like, if anything, NSBM thrives from this attention. So, and no one who is completely, who pickets this understands that. And I mean, that's great for me. I mean, great for people like me that kind of sit on the fringes and kind of look in, because, if I'm being recognized as a NSBM artist, then I'm going to get some of that attention. And, you know, I'm sure as shit not paying for it, and I haven't lost my job. So personally, like, I don't care. And I mean, the people who know me in my real life know that, like, I don't have a political anything. Like, I just don't have a political background. My songs aren't political. So it's like, have at it. I've been called a lot worse, and something that can only, bring more eyeballs and ear holes to what I'm doing is, in my books, great. So how do I use it? It's funny because I've kind of been in that section where I've been considered it, it's now easy to use just buzzwords from it. And it's a bit of a, I heard the guy from Black Occult say that it's probably the worst subgenre of the black metal artist, because it's really accessible. It's got all the hatred and everything, and a lot of the times isn't real. It's just for the, I guess, the clicks, the views, the buys. And I mean, yeah, it kind of, you lose a little bit of, I think, if you're not into it, you're losing a little bit of artistic integrity, I guess. But I'm not looking to burn any crosses or burn down any churches. So if I can get some free type of publicity, even negative, then hey, it's black metal. What did you expect? So with the last EP that came out, you might have noticed, some of you, that some of the song choices were just a little, eyebrow raising. The first one being Jericho Horns. And for those of you, I guess, in the know or don't know, the Jericho horn was something that they called these devices they would put on the World War II planes. And as they dove in to attack, it would make this sound, which is on the song. And it's completely terrifying. Suits the music beautifully, right? And Wolf's Blood Supremacy. Well, if you put blood and supremacy in anything, and wolf, happy fucking days, you've hit the trifecta. So, playing off some of the notoriety, I was quite happy to throw that in. Now, the lyrics to those songs, yes, Jericho Horns is about World War II antics, but a lot of it is coming from the Allied forces side, kind of like, more like a storytelling type of thing. Wolf's Blood Supremacy is actually just about wolves who hunt in packs, which is great, because you find that with society, I mean, as advanced as we are, we're still these tribal animals. You've got one side that's looking to attack, and they do this in large numbers, and they hunt down normally the weakest one or the one that's on their own, and they go after it. They never go after an opposing force, the same thing. So it was a great kind of metaphor for these people. And depending on which way you looked at it, you could have been, the big bad white supremacist who, is that wolf, very empowering. Or you can be that little sissy blue head person over here who has to have 20 of his mates to attack the soul artist from behind a TV screen, so you can use that type of imagery. And, I didn't see anything that was harmful in the song. I mean, you can go through it if you would just, and I know these guys don't read lyrics, they're just looking at white man supremacy, do the maths. So I find that, yeah, that's a little bit of cosplaying for the black metal notoriety. Now, the new release that I've got coming around Easter, I really considered how that was going to look and how that was going to sound and what was going to happen. So I wanted to go more of a realistic type of worldview. Okay, I don't want to dance around. I've never danced around a forest fucking naked in the snow, and I've never swung a sword at a fucking whatever. So I wanted to go something that was a little bit more hitting as far as stuff that we all deal with. And I found that because I spent a lot of time by myself in this very room, you know, I find that the title of it, I didn't come here to make friends, rings true in the sense that when we all deal within this scene, it's very much of a business transaction. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of people which I thoroughly enjoy talking to and dealing with, but I'm going to go ahead and probably suggest that with most of us, like, we speak to someone because we're interested in what they do and we're interested in something that we can get from that. So I wanted to take that to a most extreme degree. And a lot of these songs, though none of them controversial or suspicious or sketchy, definitely toe the line with like the worst possible human that, you know, you'll meet out there, which I think, you know, is beautiful topics for black metal, because these are real everyday situations. So I do find some type of kinship with the Nsbm lyrical and, I would say, some of the imagery, you know. And I also think that a lot of black metal is kind of has the, you know, the, I like to say, the pointy edges, the things that you got to look at again and kind of question. And a lot of the artwork, or I mean, I do a lot of the artwork myself, and the artwork to this album is, when you get it, or if you look at it online, I don't give a shit. You'll see, you know, the Christ figure. It's got my fat face stuck on top of it, and then all the other crucified people around are all like the worst possible humans. All right, and I'm front and center, big fat smile on my face, and I'm happy to be there. And that's what this album does. And I've definitely borrowed from the notoriety of what I've kind of picked up along the way. And I haven't answered any questions. And I definitely am not denying what they think I am. And 6 months, 7 months, 8 months later, like, I'm not losing from it. I'm also not running for president. So in that case, if I'm just here to make music and, you know, I'm stable within my life here, then definitely I'm quite happy to kind of have that trailer running alongside of me, because I'm happy to get some fallout. Because in this game, what I'm finding is that I am, like I've said a million times, I'm just one of the faces in the crowd. And if I can use something to get up to be a little bit more visual, I'm going to use it. I'm going to exploit that. And then hopefully that gets you in the front door. Have a listen to some of the music. And if you like it, then you'll support it. So that's what we do.